Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast. You got me and your co-hosts, Oompaville and Nux Taku. It's been an interesting week, I would say. You know how Asmongold uploads a video like every week? I've been canceled.
Every second day. Yeah.
Every second day, basically. I feel like I'm at that point this week. I feel like I can upload that video and just ape the title, and it would actually kind of make sense. Because I made I would say relatively somewhat controversial video that ended up getting me in a little bit of hot water.
Relatively somewhat. Where'd it get you in hot water at, though?
Transphobe. I'm the CEO of Transphobia, my man. That's what I am.
Dude,
you
Caleb,
are?
Were you unaware that one of my best friends' wife is a neo-Nazi?
Bro, that's insane.
I heard through the grapevine that you were a Nazi, Muta.
Oh!
Me?
Oh, damn.
I heard through the grapevine. I also heard through the grapevine that the real Nazis were actually Aryan.
Ooh.
Bro, that comment sends me. I'm getting that fucking... You know,
Wait,
I want to get that. I want to get that
what?
like projected. Okay, so all right, there's a lot to fucking cover.
Right.
Here,
Yeah, you
so
know
let's
all
get
of
this
it.
kind of started. So we all know who Keffals is. We know about her and the drop Kiwi Farms 2 years ago. Kind of, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know. I've heard of the name and stuff, but I don't know a lot. So
Yeah. Well, I remember when you covered her in a video, people like kind of came onto your comments.
Covered?
You had her, like, as a,
by covered,
you mentioned her like
for
briefly,
like 5 seconds, and they're like, "I can't believe you'd even say that they're this, that, and the other," and I was like, "Do what?"
Yeah, so the amount of history this person has, it's not quite Chris Chan levels or Boogie levels, or really anybody, but they basically started a fight with one of the largest lolcow forums on the internet, Kiwi Farms. Now, if you've been around on the internet for any length of time, you know that Kiwi Farms, 4chan, 8chan, a lot of these boards exist where anything goes, right? There's no YouTube TOS. There's no, we got to bleep out our words, for the video being even sent to feeds. So anyways, she started a fight with this one group that was cataloging a lot of her actions. And eventually it became this huge thing where she got swatted. And when she got swatted...
Which is awful. Which
Terrible.
sucks.
Very awful.
Awful.
Unequivocally
Nobody
bad.
should be swatted. And again, no creator ever deserves a swatting in any opinion. Like, it doesn't matter if like, oh, why are you putting your face out there and everything? It's like, you should never expect, armed officers rushing into your house on a false claim. That is
To
bullshit.
potentially kill you or your dog or your family or your friends, or going to the wrong house, or there's shit like that happens all the time, not just with creators.
Yeah, exactly. It can happen to anybody. I mean, shit. We've talked about even situations where gun owners in like Texas or whatever, they have like the ATF rush into their fucking house, and bad things can kind of happen. But it's a whole different kind of story. We've had situations where people from other countries, like Malaysia, issue SWAT requests, and flashbangs get thrown around, and animals end up dying. So it's a fucked up situation. But to go back to Keffals' story, she was swatted, and then it basically started a 2-year-long campaign with her versus the Kiwi Farms. So it was kind of like an internet version of like Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. It was just going at each other, okay? Like just belligerence, internet warfare. The site was taken down very briefly, came back, and now we're at a situation where Keffals, who during this period also sourced 100,000 Canadian dollars of money, through a GoFundMe for legal expenses and moving, is now hearing...
from what I understand, collecting these funds was supposed to be contributing to Keffals suing the London, Ontario police, right?
For what?
Yeah.
For basically using her dead name and being transphobic or something.
You can sue people for that?
Allegedly.
Are you thinking of a money-making scheme? Like, what do you ask? I guess.
No, I'm just like surprised that that's it. Like, I didn't know that was a law. What the?
Dude, you can sue anyone for anything, okay?
That's true, but the police?
So anyway, it somehow didn't get anywhere. Somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
I'm not trying. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it didn't get anywhere.
This is where it's going. Okay. The story.
Wait, hold on. We can't just brush past that. I cannot be the only person that's surprised by that.
Well, this
What do
is
you mean?
like
You can
I was surprised by this about 2 years ago.
Okay. So that's what that's what's called a what is a lawsuit that makes no sense and it's not going to work?
A Keffals suit, we call it.
A Keffals suit.
It's like
a
not
slap
superfluous.
Suit, some would say, yeah.
It's not superfluous. What's the word? It starts with an F, I think.
Yeah, fucking stupid.
Oh God. I mean, I don't know if you got your feelings hurt. Frivolous. That's it.
Yeah.
Frivolous. Yeah, that seems like a frivolous lawsuit. But Canada's laws are different, though. I know they have like a human rights tribunal. So
yeah. So
well, anyway, not the point. The point is she claimed to do this, and she claimed she was raising all these funds to do this. Whether it's dumb or not, she got the funds, but she ended up using those funds allegedly with an asterisk because it's not really alleged. Instead, she used those funds to travel all over Europe, to travel around, to go on vacations, to buy new clothes, buy other things, to claim that her fight all along was with Kiwi Farms, not the police. And the reason why she lied to everybody was because she couldn't tell her victim that they were the target. They would prepare themselves or something. Yeah, and also a ton of drugs, like a lot of drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Yeah,
all drugs.
Cocaine, benzos, methamphetamines. You know,
all the drugs.
Meth!
Allegedly.
Well, one part that you missed in your video, Muta, that I thought was hilarious. There was one debate where Keffals was on a talk with Keemstar and blamed Keemstar for her drug trip. I wouldn't have been on drugs, but you pushed me over the edge. Wait, you didn't? Let me see if I can find that. I love that clip.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on yourself and realized, whoa, there's a lot of personal information, my name, my address, heck, even some medical records might be online. Maybe family members' information could be there too. So Aura, the sponsor of today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, shows us that data brokers are selling information. And what they also show is how they navigate through very complicated and confusing at times opt-out requests for you. Aura will go out of their way to also provide you other forms of protection. We're talking account monitoring, password protection, credit card freezing, and fraud alerts from various credit bureaus. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Aura does it all with one simple price and all within one app instead of downloading multiple different applications at any given moment. Recently, there was the massive AT&T data breach with 73 million customer records, and you may be one of those records that are floating around on the internet. And that's why Aura is there to help make sure your information that's already grabbed by data brokers is being opted out of. So if any of this interests you, if you value your privacy like us, head on over to aura.com/someordinarypodcasts to start your 2-week free trial. And again, all of that is linked in the description below. That is insanity. But yeah, her situation, so she had this whole campaign and now there's severe allegations of money misappropriation. And so the actual lawsuit that I want to kind of correct here as we're talking about it, was a human rights tribunal case. So these are, from my understanding, free to file. You can go through a lawyer. They go through the HRTO, which is the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario in my province. And when you file this suit, the intention of the suit is not to get money necessarily, but it is for policy change.
Right.
Because at the time,
that makes sense.
London police. So at the time, the London police didn't apparently have body cams on SWAT officers, which I'm going to say for the record is kind of weird, just because you think SWAT officers, they would be kitted enough to have axe and body cams on them for further review, right?
For sure.
This is not if you have people if you're giving them assault rifles, you can give them a body cam, but whatever. Apparently they didn't have a body cam, and this had caused Keffals to go through the HRTO so that the London police could implement that change, which they, I guess, now did. I guess it's it's standard in the London police at this point. What's interesting is during this whole situation, she also left the part where she was apparently groped by London police officers in the initial swatting that got brought up later on. It's oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, but they grabbed my boob and basically said, yeah, it's a she, boys. Insane stuff.
But the thing is, if she would have at least kept her story consistent every time, it would have been one thing. But it's the fact that in the beginning, she says that, she woke up with guns in her face. And then the next time it was, she woke up because they were banging on the door and she went to open the door for them. And then the next one was she met the police in the hallway. Suddenly it becomes a lot less solid what the story is. And then a year later, when she was telling the story for the 87th time, she decides that now's the good time to message that they groped her and said, oh, it's a she, guys.
So, and covering all this has resulted in you becoming transphobic?
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's literally the only reason to hate her, not because of any of these other things.
Yeah. So one of the reasons of transphobia for me was this is the first time in my history or second time actually, that I commissioned art for a thumbnail. So you know that Just a Worm guy?
Yeah.
So Just a Worm makes those,
dude.
Yeah, so he drew me, I want to say months ago, and that's my extent of his understanding and knowledge. And for my interactions with him, he's been a pretty cool guy, super professional. The guy's turnaround time was like 24 hours, basically, right? Like the dude did that whole thumbnail for me in a day. So good guy, super professional, gave me the thumbnail, and I put it up there with the video. Now the video is an hour and 33 minutes. And to this day, as we're recording the podcast, there has not been a significant debunking of that video, or any debunking, really. But when that video released, Keffals came out and was like, did you really have to use transphobic art? So I didn't know that this guy was... and he's not transphobic. Like, I'll stand by it. He drew her in this sweaty style, and that was pretty much the extent of it. And that whole thumbnail discourse led to them basically trying to deflect this video. She said that I misgendered her when I used her exact pronouns.
Dude, even the Twitter note thing, the community notes was like,
yeah,
actually did not misgender her. It was just like, oh no.
Yeah, bro, you got noted. So one of the vectors where I'm transphobic is I was apparently against the DIY HRT. So I don't know if you guys know what this is.
Yeah.
Primarily, but
now I do.
One of the things that she promoted was do-it-yourself hormone replacement therapy. Now, I've been told that this medication is designed to save lives. And again, look, I'm one of those guys where it's a live and let live thing. If you're somebody that wants to, give yourself any drug, be free if you're an adult. But when you're a minor, selling, unlicensed pharmaceuticals for injection that normally are done behind a prescription probably isn't the okay thing. Anybody you talk to about the situation just gives you that weird ick, So it wasn't me trying to spread fear or anything. It's literally after researching this and talking about it, this is the conclusion I've come to. I guess that apparently makes you transphobic, but it's such a weird form of deflection, right? It's almost like, and I don't want to say all transgender people are like this. I would say a grand majority of the people that I've talked to are pretty level-headed. This is just Twitter being Twitter, insane Twitter extremism that's getting mad.
Yeah, Twitter's not real,
that's pretty much what it comes down to.
So
it's not.
That's the good news.
Yeah, the video has done absolutely well. I want to say that, dislike. I've seen some people share, it's like, let's dislike. I saw, somebody openly going, let's just report you for misinformation. I'm like, bro, what? This is insanity. There's just no winning, So, in this whole span, attacking the thumbnail, they decided to go after Jen, of all people, right? Now, Jen is a registered nurse. That's her profession. That's what she does, so... She has her medical chops, so to speak. She knows her shit. And, she doesn't agree with any of this. They were going after her on, Twitter. And they basically started saying that she was neo-Nazi.
Which is horrible. How do you do that?
I'm sitting over there. I'm like, you're telling me the neo-Nazi that's with an Indian guy? That's a
wait till you hear about the next part, though.
Oh, the next part's great. So there's this subreddit called YouTube Drama. Do you know the subreddit?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So the subreddit is filled with some of the saddest people you'll ever find in your life. And their explanation was apparently, and this is some Yakubian levels of shit right here, okay? Apparently Indians were the original Aryans. If you go back to that continent, that's where the Aryans originally came from, right? Afghanistan, India, whatever. So my people were the OG Aryans.
Yo, that's huge.
That explains why Jen likes me, because she is. This is part of her Aryan Nazi culture to assimilate with the OG. I'm like, bro,
I cannot believe it. Seriously,
honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, I've seen some good stuff, some good criticism on r/YouTube Drama. I've seen some good stuff on there. I don't really go on there a lot, but this is
all I ever see on there is
So I don't know why, because I never looked there, but I do get emails from Reddit, and half of them are our YouTube Drama. They just email me from Reddit.
Oh, notifications and everything. Yeah,
because they know they're talking about you a lot.
I feel like there's it's an interesting thing about those kind of subreddits or whatever. It's I think like we're all just perfectly open to any form of criticism, right? We get that shit all the time, and I think like if you're a YouTuber, you have to be open to people not liking you or talking negatively about you, and it's just part of the game, right? Like it's for as many, if 99% of the people talk good about you, there's going to be 1% of people that talk bad, and you just have to be used to it. But it's like I can't ever take any criticism that's like that. Like if you're going to equate me to like an honorary Aryan,
if it's just not true, it's like if they're just lying about shit.
Would people really do that? Lie on the internet?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just like, what is the end game? I don't understand it. You know?
Yeah, it's
what's
just
the point?
It's like,
what are you doing?
And then like you talk about it to them, right? And it's like you read some of the stuff. It's like, have you watched the video? And like in the comments, it's like,
I don't need to.
No, I haven't seen it.
I'm not going to watch what the progenitor of the Nazis had to say.
Like Willie Mack released a Hassan video again, right? Like he covered.
Yeah.
He's been covering Hassan a fair bit recently with Hassan's coverage on international matters. And what's insane about it too is like even for his video, they're like, yeah, I've been watching Willie Mack's video. I'm like, he doesn't put any effort. I'm like, bro, he's literally. Like,
dude, as far as people making videos about Hassan goes, I'd say 99% of them make a video about some viral like clip of his that just is on Twitter and people are already making fun of. Mm-hmm. Willie Mack actually sits through streams. I don't know how he does it, but he actually does it.
Yeah, he'll dig out exact phrasing and words, and it's like that's the kind of like if you're gonna say that's not putting any effort into something, it's like you're insane. It's like. We are dumb commentary channels, and a lot of times, and I feel like the amount of effort we put into like videos is like infinitely higher than some like journalist or like I guess political correspondent on the internet. You know, it's like we're doing more than just or reacting to like a Twitter spat. Like we actually dig in and research into these things and come up with like a conclusion. Like yes,
speak for yourself, bud.
Bro, okay, you can. I always like how you sell yourself so short, but it's like every time I watch your videos, like you put like infinitely more. Like I get more like historical context onto like kick degenerates that you cover.
That's called yapping, dude.
But it's not. It's
called yapping,
it's
bro.
It's like educated yapping, bro. Everyone yaps on the internet, dude.
It's just yapping.
Nah, you do a great job, honestly.
No,
thank you so much.
No, you cover like. It's fun watching a Vitali video from like Halo's perspective because it's like it's not just like anybody. Like if you watch like a Charlie thing where he brings up like Vitali, it's like what Vitali did that day. You watch an Oopaville thing, it's like no, Vitali's a scumbag today. But let me remind you of the time he beat up
he beat a woman. Let's not lest we forget.
Oh,
what exactly is Vitali known for? Oh, something about owing a lot of money for a reason. Why is the reason? Does anybody know?
I can't think of it. Would you enlighten us?
No,
I think it's for beating a random woman senseless.
No way.
While intoxicated on mushrooms and blaming it on everyone around him instead of taking responsibility for it himself.
Oh my god, that's great.
And now he's a vigilante.
He is like the most insane case of individual that I've ever seen.
It's wild.
Like you went from Joker to Batman in like 3 seconds.
Well, you weren't here like last like episode for it, but we talked about it briefly with the what was it? We talked about it with Atozi like when he was flashbanging people and shit. And it's just like the last clip I saw of him was like the one guy. It wasn't anybody on his team, by the way. They came and knocked the dude out to the ground, and I look at it and I'm like, I think I just witnessed the first murder on
the death, dude.
Actual straight up death.
It's a fucking death. Like it's just a train wreck happening in live. It's a train wreck happening in real time live for all of us to watch, and it's a guy who's just like, I mean, I don't know if he actually is coked out, but like. He cannot stop licking his lips and like just I've never seen anyone have as much mouth movement as that dude, and it's like
I don't see enough movement.
Not enough. It's really bizarre. It's bizarre.
Is he not the greatest Russian that has ever immigrated to America though? Like he is the.
I can't believe he's still allowed here. I feel like people get their shit revoked way easier than that.
Well, isn't he an American citizen now?
Send it back.
No, like my thing with like Vitali is like, so he's always been kind of like he's been like an unfiltered nut job, you know, like ever since his immigration into the United States. Him and his entire like ilk. Every time I see that dude on the internet, it's just like coked out, drugged up, roided nut job. And then like when I didn't expect him to come back to streaming ever since he beat up the runner in Miami, but he's here, dude. He's bringing the heat. And what's funny too is like the people that he's been trying to bust. I don't know if are they actually pedophiles, like the people that he's been busting. Like, what's the story?
See, here's the thing, no one knows.
Yeah, there's a lot of theory that it's not real. And like he's got an incredibly low arrest rate. Like with Alex Rosen, there's a lot of documentation to kind of go back behind it.
Alex Rosen gets them arrested all the time.
Yeah.
He just confronts them and he throws flashbangs at them.
Yeah, Vitali, it's very clearly a different thing. One's for clout.
You don't understand. He punishes them himself. Bro thinks he's the Punisher. He pulls out a shaver and shaves their head in public.
Yeah, I do understand. I've made a lot of videos about it.
Dude,
my most recent videos about that.
Right, true.
Yeah, he's definitely not a he's an interesting guy, old Vitali, I would say. He doesn't. I don't know if he's ever really arrested anyone. I mean, they've hired actors as police before, so like, how much of it's real, I have no idea.
Well, do you think the people that are in this, like the people that he busts, do you think they're all just actors too, or some of them?
One of them was a screenwriter for, allegedly, was a screenwriter for or
what?
Like, I don't want to say the guy's name because I don't know what his name is. I want to say Werner Herzog, but that's not him at all. That's
Space Jam. Yeah,
Space
Jam.
Not Take that back. Delete that out of the video. Space Jam. The screenwriter for Space Jam, like an actual famous Hollywood elite guy. And then he busted him, allegedly, because I don't know if it actually was confirmed to be him or what. And then
safe bet, though. So that's
safe bet. And Vitali tweeted, he was like, I have no intention of killing myself or something, as if he's like, as if he's busting giant Hollywood pedo rings and stuff. Which is
busted Space Jam's.
I mean, it is pretty wild. Like there's a level of respect that I've got. Like that's crazy. That's insane. Like he's definitely not doing it in a good way, and there's going to be a lot of collateral damage, and this will end poorly for probably some people. Hopefully, there are not going to be any victims who are extra f***ed over by him basically making predators more effective at avoiding being caught, which is, I think, kind of what he's doing. I feel like, I don't know. It's very complicated though. It's interesting. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah. Like, so the angle, cause I'm working on the whole Vitali thing myself too, cause it's such a fascinating landmine of content. My thing with the way that Vitali covers it is like, I've seen the one clip where obviously the California police, I think it's the California police that are just like, we can't arrest somebody.
LAPD, yeah.
And it's like, it's funny because it's like the people that are Vitali viewers are like, you see, this is a lip-tarded media protecting themselves. And I'm like, I feel like any law enforcement agent in any state of the union would be like, oh, you want to stop? Awesome. Let's do it the right way. It's like, and we've had Alex Rosen on this show, and Alex Rosen described that there are some departments, where some DAs treat this situation with the utmost care, and some just don't care, right? So it's like, it's kind of a mixed bag. But the way that Vitali does is, it's like, these guys are going to get away. Like, they have to be getting away. Because
I don't think Vitali actually cares. I think Vitali finally found a target that he could go after that no one on the planet will sympathize with.
Right.
Well, it's like, the funny thing is, like, if you bring up the facts, like, Vitali, did you beat up a woman? He's like, yeah, so what? But like, I'm stopping.
For every woman I assault, I also catch a pedophile and humiliate him in public.
I was on mushroom. He was. Like, he's a great Russian dude.
Yeah, I think someone's gonna die though. Seriously, I think it's gonna get real bad. I don't know.
You think it's gonna be like a Vitali stream where it dies too, or do you think there's gonna be somebody even wild? Do you think like we're gonna get another Russian immigrating into the States? It's even more up than Vitali.
I don't know, man. It is an interesting time. We've got actual vigilante file hunters right now, which is crazy.
That's huge.
It's huge.
It's funny because like what I remember back in the day, right? And this is like, so there's actually this YouTube channel that I've been kind of following where he like basically reviews prostitutes and like Southern Philly and shit.
you send me that channel? Send me the channel. I have to make a video on that. That's amazing.
So this guy like reviews prostitutes and shit, and he gets into like arguments about like haggling rates and everything too. So it's just like it's like a weird set of like sometimes you find the weirdest content in YouTube, right? And then like even back when you looked at the earliest bit of YouTube content, the first Vigilante I ever saw was this guy, the video Vigilante. I think his name is like Brian something, but anyways, his content was like he would just basically have a camera ready and he would patrol like low income neighborhoods. Somebody would purchase like a hooker, they would drive into a location, and as soon as he engaged in the act, this guy would just immediately bum rush them and just start videotaping them and posting that shit
dude.
Uncut on YouTube, right? Full names, full everything.
Oh my god, shit. Dude. That's awful.
So Vitali's like it's almost like full circle, except Vitali's bringing like flashbangs, which I don't even know, is that even legal to chuck flashbangs in a neighborhood like that and just
there's no way
let them pop?
There's no way. That's why it's got to be fake. There has to be it has to be fucking fake because he's just breaking the law live.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but that's the thing. It's so weird. He's never getting busted for it. Like,
yeah,
it's you.
I mean, he's assaulting people.
You can't even expect like Vitali, like that flashbang clip. Like, think about it. It's not like he rented out that area.
Right.
That was an actual flashbang, like a 9-banger that he chucked out. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's not fake, right? Like,
bro, you're playing too much Siege.
The funniest part about him throwing the flashbang to me, it wasn't that like he was trying to do anything useful. It's after he already caught the guy and humiliated the guy in public, and then he just lets him go. And then as the guy is leaving, he just throws the flashbang at him to annoy him. Like
I want to cover that like video, but I don't even know. Is it like safe to upload that to YouTube? How do you do that, Caleb? Like, how do you
what?
Oh, he got a community guideline
like
strike.
uploading a shit.
Easy.
How do I do what? What you guys both talk at the same time?
How would you upload like his video, his like content to YouTube?
I would send it to YouTube first, and then they'd be like, "You can't upload this," and I'd be like, "All right," and then I change it a lot, and then send it back to them, and then they're like, "You can upload this part, but not that part," and then I do that a bunch of times, and then eventually I get a Frankenstein video that I can upload.
See, you know what I would just do is like I would hire somebody on staff to just like recreate these things in Grand Theft Auto 5, like the director.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Be like, this is a safe
really good
YouTube
idea.
Digital representation of
that's
what
a
Vitali.
Genius idea. Because yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I assume the flashbang is, well, I don't assume that would be a federal crime if he were to have if he were to be using, because like. Even smoke grenades, the fuses are destructive devices. So I assume a flashbang is probably a destructive device. And felons cannot own firearms. And I assume felons cannot own destructive devices. So he's probably some kind of simunition or some kind of like fake, like, I don't know. The dude it's really interesting. He's breaking the law so much.
Unhinged.
Or maybe he's going after files and they don't want to go to the police about this.
What about the live stream?
They don't want to go to police. Yeah.
Dude, it's on Kick. No one knows what happens on Kick. What happens on Kick stays on Kick. And Oompaville.
Dude, I'm just surprised nobody in the state of California, like no DA is like, you can't be popping flashbangs down the street. But I don't know, man. Weirder shit has happened. Like, it's such a weird platform where it's like, I guess maybe because he did the stings in California, right? Or was it Florida? I don't know if there's like even a big difference, like, because I would imagine
Miami and LA.
Okay, so federally, but like the explosives would fall under the federal stuff, so it wouldn't even matter statewide.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, you wouldn't be able to. You can't legally own any sort of destructive device without a permit, and you have to have the proper classification to be able to own a destructive device. I don't own any.
And we can safely assume that Vitali, whatever his last name is, probably lacks.
Vitali,
definitely. Yeah, Vitali, unless he's like a fucking class 3 FFL. I forget all the terminology exactly, but let's see who can own destructive.
Dude, you would have made the craziest Spetsnaz agent had he not immigrated here, dude. Would have been the craziest out of goddamn Russia. He's like my favorite dude. It's like it just shows you like what a melting pot the United States is. You can move from a totally different culture, come here, start taking some testosterone, and turn into the biggest alley douchebag you could ever imagine.
I don't know.
He has to be like a CIA psyop in some way, dude. He's got to have some craziness to it. But I don't know. It's actually one of the things I love about Kick so much. It's like if you think about like content, you can't get this kind of stream on YouTube. Sure, can't do it on Twitch, but somehow Kick is like, go ahead, dog.
Dude, Kick is wild.
Yeah, come follow me on Kick. Woo.
Dude, it's got to be so much fun to stream on Kick because you could just react to this shit without ever risking your channel. Like,
yes, but do you know how strict they are on copyright? It's insane.
Oh, I assume they have to be.
They're stricter than Twitch. You don't understand. Sometimes a Kick guy will come into my chat and be like, "Oh, hey, this is DMCA. Please turn it off." And I'll be like, "Oh, okay, no problem." And then I just go to Twitch, and I have no problem.
It's like, hey, listen, you can't be watching no MasterChef, but flashbanging pedophiles,
yeah, exactly.
Cool with us, boys. We don't give a.
It's like we draw the line at Disney. We don't want to deal with those guys.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to with Disney. That's just like that's a risky thing to go down into. But yeah, no, honestly, like looking at just the level of content that site has generated in like such a short time is baffling. You know, it's like 2 weeks ago we were talking about dudes literally ripping their cars and driving drunk, and now we're talking about flashbanging pedos. It's just there's no chill.
No, dude, Kick is crazy.
Did you guys see Speed acting like an idiot out in Asia?
What? No. Oh yeah, the dog bit him.
Dude,
yeah, I saw that shit.
What a goober that fella is. What a goofy goober.
But is he harmful though? He's such a fucking innocent, like fun guy.
Is he innocent?
More innocent than the last chick.
Oh yeah, he's like Johnny Somali for kids, basically.
What? No.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, he's in just harassing people in the street. What are you talking about?
Wait, is he?
Yes.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, dude, he's acting like a piece of shit.
I haven't seen the DLC.
It's way different because these people are his fans. It's way different. It's substantially different. But that's why I said it's like for kids. Like it's a not bad version of Johnny Somali, basically. It's like Johnny Somali if Johnny Somali actually was a marketing genius.
Yeah, dude, Johnny Somali, I'll say if Johnny Somali had Aiden Ross levels of clip talent, bro, that man would be the largest streamer by a mile.
Oh, because he's just so brazen and brave and just doesn't give a
Dude, you know what I would kill to see? A Vitali and Johnny Somali stream. Like, just those two intellectuals going at it, bro. Like, Jesus Christ.
But Speed's not anywhere, obviously not anywhere near I would never wish Speed go to jail. All right. Like, that's obvious.
No.
Yeah.
But do you wish Johnny
But it's a funny joke, though. Jail? Oh, yeah, for sure. I wish Johnny Somali would go to jail.
Oh, dude, if he would have gotten arrested in Israel, I would have visited him, honestly.
I don't like Johnny Somali. I think Speed's funny. I like watching Speed. I like watching Speed act like a fucking idiot. It's more fun, for sure.
He's like, it's enough, like, unhinged. He's unhinged enough to be funny, but not, like, I would say, dangerous, you know?
Yeah, like, he's not doing it to just fucking with people. He's doing it because it's like loud, funny. It's a character. Like, you can predict what he's going to do. It's not just like he's trying to, and he's not going to, make jokes about it. Well, maybe he would make jokes about Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Japan and stuff. I don't know.
You have to have heard of them.
What?
You're telling me that he doesn't know Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
He's saying he's stupid.
I didn't say it. I'm just saying. If he would hear, he would have probably done it. You're putting words in my mouth right now. I don't know.
He's a little too young to know what that's all about.
Yeah. He's about 100 years too young.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I think like watching some of the content that Speed makes, it shows me like, yeah, this is where the American education system really
dies. Yeah, it's fucking bad. It's real bad. And I was homeschooled, and it's like, it just looks sad.
Dude, I mean, to be fair, there's an entire subreddit that like equates an interracial relationship to Nazism. So I mean, me.
There is?
Yeah, this is fucking. I'm a Nazi, apparently, dude.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. I was like, what the
that's Reddit, old news. That's old
news. We've already talked about that. You're also a transphobe. Are you a misogynist?
I'm the token Jewish
misogynist, bro. Let's be real. Let's be honest. They deserve less rights. Come on, boy.
Oh, God.
Wait, what?
Dude, I was the original misogynist. Bro. One of the first memes on my channel. The first meme that I ever saw of me was like, enough about women's rights. Let's talk about women's wrongs, bro. Like, I was the OG misogynist.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The internet don't give a...
Yeah.
No, but one day we should absolutely aim to get Vitali on the show. I would love to talk to him.
I would love
that.
Dude.
I know you've burned your bridge with him. Like dude, you call him a woman beater. Yeah, you call him a fuck.
What the? Well, you alive? Be like, hey, Vitali, I really like what you're doing.
All right, okay.
Please beat up more women for content.
Yeah, let's say Vitali was the.
Around 2020.
Let's say Vitali was the fourth square right now. Okay, how would you introduce him to the show? Because if we ever get him, you have to be the one that brings him in. So how would you introduce a Vitali?
Hey guys. Welcome to the show. Today we've got well-known convicted woman beater, Vitali, turned pedo hunting vigilante. It's a really interesting mix of character traits. I'm stoked to have him on the pod. Hey guys. He did serve time in prison.
Dude.
Definitely check him out on Kick. But only if you report him to the authorities if he does this again.
Yeah. He's like one of those dudes where if you like cover it, it's gonna be so difficult. It's like I don't know how many times you'd have to say we disavow in that episode. No, I think he's like one of the people that I definitely want to hit up. Nux, it's like you're more adjacent to him. You're a colleague with him, dude. He's not even on YouTube anymore, bro. We can't even hit him there.
He didn't serve time in prison.
He got banned off of YouTube.
He did. I think he's still on YouTube. He didn't go to prison though. By the way, that was a joke. He didn't go to prison. He paid his bail. His $7,500 bail.
Wait, so he's out on like?
I think it was settled civilly. Right? I think he had to pay a settlement. That was the ending. He didn't have to go to jail for beating that woman.
But now he's earning the money to pay that woman, allegedly, of course.
Exactly, yes. Well, I think he's already paid it. I think Steve will do it paid it off.
Of course Steve did, dude.
Yeah, dude. Steve will do it as a fucking idiot.
Dude, it's wild. There's like a whole world of just complete idiots out there, aren't there?
Dude, this is what you gotta think. That woman must feel like a savior almost. Because she's like a martyr. She got her ass beat just so Vitali would have to start hunting files. Like that's a butterfly effect that led to that. Do you think she even knows like Vitali's doing this shit now, or do you think she's just like tuned it out?
Dude, she's his biggest fan.
Jesus, actually can't remember if he went to prison. Payday. Shit, I'm trying to think right now.
I think Vitali was detained, but you're right. I don't think he's ever served actual time.
Yeah, I don't know if he's because I said he was a felon. I don't know if he's actually a felon. I know beating a woman is a felony charge, but I don't know if he was convicted. I know he had to pay money for that. So
yeah, I feel like if it's settled out, you obviously he wouldn't be a felon. It's such a weird thing how the U.S. legal system works. Like you can just settle out civilly and then not be given your felony status. Yeah, he's an interesting fella. But beyond all of that, I think the other big thing that came in was apparently Destiny, a friend of the show, by the way, is just burning bridges over at Twitch.
Oh, dude, he also had a rough week, didn't he?
Ludwig and Destiny had a little bit of a beef with each other. Two people that I'm a fan of. Yeah. Destiny outed some guy, Will Neff's relationship shit, and basically exposed him as a cheater and everything too, which is like Destiny.
Yeah, but he did that just because he felt like it. He was like, I have no reason to do this other than you. That was his mindset.
That's literally the Destiny mindset. Destiny is like the most. You never want Destiny as a scorned ex-girlfriend, bro, because the moment that gets pissed off at you, all of your dirty laundry is coming out, dude. But
so from what I understand, this all started. Ludwig has a podcast, The Yard, and one of his co-hosts, Slime, or as Destiny puts it, generic white friend number 4. As Destiny puts it. So Slime made a comment something about how Destiny does no research, he just reads Wikipedia articles. So that's unequivocally not true, right? Like Destiny he'll do like 10-hour streams reading like everything on every topic.
Yeah.
So
that's the meme, right?
With Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah, but that is the meme.
Wikipedia has sources you can click
That's
on.
the meme, yeah.
That is the meme. It's
Wikipedia is made up of sources.
It is. But also at least Wikipedia is something. It's like other political streamers are just
Some
like
people make shit up.
They just make it up, bro. Okay, but anyway. Yeah,
that's what I do.
So yeah, you're my favorite political commentator.
I just edit the Wikipedia to reflect what I want to say in the video, and then I that's my rule.
Funny. That's comedy.
That's just big some ordinary gamers out here.
I use ChatGPT to write the misinformation, and then I link to that in Wikipedia, so it becomes.
And hey, your ChatGPT lawyer says you can get away with it, so it all works.
100%. Never have to pay for legal fees. I literally just have a lawyer on Chat who does everything for me. By the way, this is not legal advice. Do not use ChatGPT.
And it was a joke. Okay, no,
we are not responsible for that.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it says that he doesn't do research. So some Destiny fan made like this montage sexy edit compilation of Ludwig just doing research on streams, like just reading shit on streams, and then they ended up getting into a whole fight back and forth about how you do research, don't do research. The whole debate situation happened there. It ended up evolving into Ludwig basically saying, yeah, I met Destiny once at a TwitchCon or something, and his vibes were atrocious. And he didn't pass the cheese ball test.
Cheese balls or something.
Like, I asked him if he wanted to play the cheese ball game with us, but he was high out of his mind, and he said no because he was too famous for us. And then he went back and said, "Oh, it was a petty beef. All right, it meant nothing. There were zero stakes, and it was just two famous people yelling at each other on the internet."
All this over how to do research on Wikipedia, bro.
I mean, I think all this because they're like aligned on different sides, sort of. I feel like Destiny and Hassan are mortal enemies. So Ludwig is friends with Hassan, so I feel like that just kind of pitted them against each other. Not based on any personal... It's weird
how like cliquey that circle is, because I've had some pushback because of our relationship to Asmongold, because we've had him on the we haven't had him on the podcast. We spoke highly of him, where we're like, yeah, we like him. We're Asmongold enjoyers, and I've been sort of. They're like, you really like this Nazi gremlin World of Warcraft player?
Yo, what? You're a fan of a Nazi. Your wife is a Nazi. It's a rough day for
I swear to God, I feel like Nazism has lost every form of weight to it. You know, like when we were growing up in U.S. history class, they were like, yeah, those Nazi guys, they were some up people. They were really bad. And then you do like research on them, and you're like, yeah, they're really bad. And now you go on the internet, it's like everyone I don't like, that guy's a Nazi.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many enemies I was supposed to have. I really learned how many people I'm supposed to hate being on the internet. Like over the last couple of years, especially when I started doing commentary stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like you can't be fence sitter guy. You can't.
No, you have to have enemies.
You have to hate everybody. You have to hate one side of people. You have to. I can't even speak confidently about degenerates that are doing shit. Like, what do you like? I mean, there's nothing wrong with like supporting anything that you believe in genuinely, but like this, for me, like my platform is not for. It's for like punching and entertainment and just like stupid commentary nonsense. Like that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is.
Speaking of Ludwig and fence sitting, he got into a whole other controversy this week. They wanted to do a whole, a bunch of streamers came together. They wanted to do a whole charity fundraising thing for Palestinians and stuff. And Ludwig said, listen, I don't want to participate personally in the charity because it's obviously a controversial topic. I only do charities that like is unanimously agreed upon. But he donated $10,000 anyway. So this clip of him saying that goes, I think some political streamer on Twitch.
It was Frogan. Yeah,
Frogan looks at this clip and sees Ludwig saying it's like, I gave $10,000, and she just looks at it and she's like, that is a ass take. What a ass take.
I love that. True, dude. Honestly, that is true.
Dude that knows nothing about this situation decides to give $10,000 of his hard-earned money to a cause to protect people that are in jeopardy of their lives. Oh my God. What a
bro! I did that too. I'm like, all right, listen, I don't want to sound like I'm both sides in this. I gave it to like actual charitable aid, like shit that's going to doctors, or like
Doctors Without Borders.
I'm like, yeah, like exactly, like a charity of that nature. And I'm like, all right, that's my extent. Like, I'll give 10K of my hard-earned money, and it wasn't even like I didn't even post this because it was like I donate money like all the time. I just don't post receipts because I feel like it's pretty scummy to do.
It is. It's shitty.
I try. Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm covering something in regard to something and there's charity in a video or whatever, then you can talk about you can promote it. But I'm not just going to like weave in charity. I don't. My goal specifically, and I assume your guys' goals as well, are not to just be seen as like moral arbiters and like great, awesome people. No. Like we're YouTubers.
Today we're talking about the Twitch streamer that you had sex on stream. Also, I just donated $100,000.
I mean, like, it's funny because like like charities, insane. I don't post my receipts, dude. Half the time I don't even like give the receipts to my tax like attorney or whatever. Like my,
for the write-off
accountant. Yeah, because
I do give the write-offs.
I do give the write-offs. I
do give the write-offs.
Let the government pay for half of my donation. Okay, come on, man.
And
sometimes I don't because like it's not ever negligent. It's like there's so much shit to cover that I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna dig through like every receipt for it. But true. It is what it is for me. Like for me, it's like posting it on the internet. I always feel like when you do a charity, it should be out of the kindness of your heart, not because you're trying to get the good PR out of it. Like because at that point you can give $100,000 of charity and then put that as your pin tweet, and bam, you're gonna get all the good brownie points for it. But
I don't want good brownie points on Twitter. Worthless.
Yeah, and like all we're literally doing is just justifying people's like sort of implicit criticism that we see other people getting right now. So it's like not really that big of a deal, obviously. But I mean, there's just so I don't know. It's just I see people who I know are really dumb talking about something. And I'm just like, you don't know anything about that at all. Like, what do you... I regularly post pictures of guillotines in regard to political statements online on Twitter fairly regularly. And that is as geopolitical as I get in any of my content anywhere. And that is just on Twitter. And like, that's as much as I allow myself. For one, I've got a lot of people that I represent with my business, and everyone has differing opinions and thoughts. Mine are not safe for the internet. Like literally, they're not at all.
My God,
I told Muta before this. I cannot say what I will be alienated from the internet if I wouldn't I, Muta?
I think you absolutely would. Yes.
I think I absolutely would. I can't say that.
This is the worst day to come late. That's not fair.
I can't say any of that stuff. But I feel like it's based out of compassion, and it's like, it's not being dishonest. It's being honest. And I don't think that saying it online or building up my fucking idiotic degen platform would be dishonest to incorporate all that stuff into one thing and be online. Like it doesn't. I don't know. It's complicated.
No, 100% agreed on that. And when it comes to like again the activism that is done, like my thing is like, look, I always hate dealing with people on the internet that try to own you, in some way, like try to find something to own or be negative about, right? Like, if I look at what Ludwig did, I'm like, all right, cool. He doesn't want to participate in something that he knows alienates his fan base, right? Like, obviously. And even if you look at like my fan base, it's like, and I look at this entire subject, I'm like, I don't want to sit here and run like the pandering hour for a situation that I truly have no real understanding of. That's not me. And it's like, I feel like in the end, that's going to bite me on the ass covering for something that, ultimately I have no understanding of. Like, even with this Keffals situation, which is nowhere in comparison to it, this one mainstream news source, the Young Turks, you get people who don't know this, they're Hassan Piker's like uncle runs the Young Turks. They had to offer retraction on this Keffals stuff that they were covering 2 years ago because they didn't look into the situation as earnestly as they should have, right? So I'm like, I try to avoid that as much as I can because I think the harm that comes from sending misinformation or supporting things without truly understanding them is ultimately not smoke you want to ever have in your career or your life or you as a person. So what Ludwig did was he avoided that, and he's like, I'll give money, and I think that's the best that I can do because it's money that he knows or he believes will go to a good cause and ultimately will be a net positive. And it's also money that he earned out of his own pocket and donated. Like he's taking bigger loss.
That's far more valuable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dude,
like
my favorite part about the
Frogan
Frogan clip, personally, I'm sorry, I know we're back there, but
No,
I have to
go ahead.
say it. At the bottom of the Frogan clip, there's like, donate to help me pay for rent. And she can't raise $800 on her stream. I'm not saying this to make fun of her. Everyone has a different living situation and stuff like that. But if you can't make $800, why are you shitting on this guy that just gave $10,000 to a charity that you literally support?
Yeah, well, he's a.
Oh, you make a good point. Literally,
that's not shitting on him. That's just being honest,
bro. You gotta get that crap take out of here, bro.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Spoken like a true.
Dude, and that's the other thing that I always find so insane, bro. It's like, why? You know how divisive people can get these days, and I'm like, I always refrain from using that kind of language, like period, in like any. I mean, I guess I don't because we all just kind of threw it out here, but it's like, how do you bring people together and join your cause when you're such an abject, abhorrent person and you get clipped like that? Like that's never a positive to you. These people have like no, I guess, understanding on how to be a functional, level-headed person.
That's a pretty crack-ass take, Muta, not gonna lie.
Dude, I'm a
it's not easy. I keep forgetting.
You gotta quit saying you're so it's just rolling off the tongue now, bro.
Bro, you know how, dude, I'm still processing how I'm apparently an honorary Aryan. It's insane. Like, I have no idea.
That's pretty funny
to that point,
to be honest.
And before we get into it, I want to stress by saying I'm very much against Nazi ideology. You know, I think I'm surprised at this point in my career and like on the internet, it's gotten to the point where I have to just say Nazis are bad. Okay, like that's
crazy
statement. You know,
that's insane, dude.
A pretty crass take.
Pretty crass.
That's not very well. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say that's not very Nordic of you, but that just kind of makes that's. A lot of Nazis online, the meme is like, look how Nordic I look. Like they try to look, that's the Aryan thing. Anyways.
Is that a meme online?
It's a meme online,
Dude,
yeah. I've seen it. It's a Nazi meme. Yeah.
Dude,
bro, what is your feed?
This is just an average day on Twitter.
Is men fighting versus bears in the woods, okay?
I didn't see any of that shit, to be honest. I see
a little bit of the men versus bear. I don't know why it got so viral. What was that whole thing about? Like, dude, is it just women picking what they want to go up against?
Yeah, it's like, would you rather be stuck alone in the woods with a bear or a woman or
a man?
A bear or a man?
What the fuck would you guys want?
I mean,
I'm picking the bear,
dude. With no context, bear, because it's just gonna run away. But like, if it's like if I'm, this is how I kind of ended up on it. If I'm in the woods, if I'm a girl and I'm in the woods with either a Jeffrey Dahmer bear or a Jeffrey Dahmer man, I'm going to choose the man every single day. Because the crazy fucking insane bear is going to rip my insides out and drag me around in the woods, and I might be able to run away from the Jeffrey Dahmer guy. Bear can run 30 miles an hour and leap 30 feet. Like, I'm for sure going to die. I might have a chance against Jeffrey Dahmer. But that's obviously not the question.
That is not the question.
My own bastard take on it.
Well, I mean, like, okay, well, here's the thing. Well, isn't it true, like, if a bear is running at you, you just stand your ground and the bear stops?
Well,
yeah, but this is a hypothetical.
It'll
it's
maybe
a hypothetical
stop.
question. I would go out on a limb and say that I've probably been in more close quarter situations with bears than both of you guys. I would probably say. Probably.
Yeah, you've been hunting bears?
I've seen four bears.
4 bears. I've seen 4 bears at once.
Damn. I got destroyed. Ratioed.
You got ratioed. They're really not that scary. And sometimes they are very scary. And it's just hard. They're kind of unpredictable. Less people have died by bears than humans. Just saying.
Bro, that's not a good metric.
I'm just saying per capita. Even per capita, it's much lower.
Well, how often is a human putting themselves at risk in front of a bear?
This is just the information we're given, okay?
Damn.
Statistically speaking, man v bear, you're better off going out in front of a bear, probably. Right?
Statistically speaking.
I don't hate men or anything. I just am really not afraid of bears.
I feel like I would go up against a bear too, because like a bear has a certain level of intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
A man might not.
A man, dude, bro. Here's the thing: if you're going up against Aiden Ross in the forest, you're winning. You're going up against Jeffrey Dahmer, that's killing you. You know what I mean? Like, what if you're going up against, I don't know, Solid Snake or some crazy shit. You know, that guy's got you. Going up against Aiden Ross, a bear's gonna spawn in and kill Aiden Ross for you anyways. Then it becomes then it becomes you versus the bear anyways.
Damn.
Bear isn't all that goddamn scary. I just don't know. Like, is it like an anti-men thing on TikTok? This is like thing?
Yeah.
That's like, it's like a misandrist type beat, but I don't understand the, like.
No, it's because I've seen people talk about it from both perspectives. It's like, you're misunderstanding, Caleb. It's because if you are trapped there in the woods with a bear and you scream, it might run away, but a man doesn't care if you scream. And it's like, dude, what? No. Huh?
I've met a lot of men, and
it's a
not
forest.
that scary.
No one's gonna hear a scream, so the hypothetical falls on flat.
Yeah, and also, is it a bad guy or is it a bad bear? Like, what's the?
Well,
we need more info.
Obviously, the message here is all men are rapists. That's obviously what.
Which is just not true.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it though?
But all bears are carnivorous. All right, Muta, you pick one lane, dude.
Dude, now you're a misandrist. You're a damn Aryan Nazi misandrist. What the?
Have you guys seen that Valorant clip floating around? Come on now.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Fucking hate that clip.
Dude, my editor sends me memes all the time, all right? And he just sent me this clip. And I was like, oh, it's another one of those memes. And I opened it up, and it was not a meme.
Bro, that is the most insane discourse, because like what people are like is like, should the guy get banned? I'm like, yeah, obviously, any game would ban you for saying that shit, you know? But the
Andrew
thing is,
Tate
like,
responded. Did you see that?
To what? Mandy Bear?
To that clip!
Wait, what did Andrew
Tate
say?
Oh my god, you missed literally the best part of this whole situation. Okay.
What did he say?
Andrew Tate responded something like, "This is why we don't want women in men's spaces, because men are always insulting each other, then women come in and tell us how to change our spaces." You didn't see that response? That was awesome.
When are guys always saying, yeah, bro, I'm gonna rape you? Like, what?
Average bro talk.
When guys be saying that? Is that the average discussion? Have you ever been that mad at somebody on a game of Rainbow Six that you just throw that out there?
No.
Not even not even remotely close. Like, if I'm upset at someone, I don't even turn my mic on. And that's definitely the majority of people.
Dude, that is the one thing that I haven't realized. So I don't play that many multiplayer games, like aside from Siege, but I feel like I don't ever come across people screaming that in the microphone.
I found
the last argument that I've ever had ended up with the guy saying, "Yo, are you Mutahar?" And I had to mute myself because I'm like, I don't want to get that mad over this guy. He's gonna clip me. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't see people getting that mad on the internet.
Oh my god, wah like babies.
Women join men's spaces and cry and ruin everything. Wah like babies. Men say the worst things to each other all day and nobody cares. Easy way to fix this is to ban crybaby women from gaming. Done.
Dude, he is such a what is it? Isn't he finally like? It's his case is like actually ramping up now, isn't it?
Dude,
I think so.
Byron from the Fresh and Fit podcast responded too.
Oh,
yo, Myron's a gamer. Myron's an actual gamer. I want to know his take, dude.
This is why women need to stay out of male spaces or shut the fuck up if they get bullied.
Oh my
Women come into male spaces and want the rules to change for their feelings, with everything up for everyone else. Here's equality feminism got you. Okay, anyone gets shit talked online. It's an unavoidable aspect of gaming. Sack up. I don't even know what that means. You claim to be an incredibly strong person and streaming for a very, very long time, but you got triggered and tried to force a company to do what you want, as if the world revolves around you and no one else gets insulted online. There's kids getting bombed in Gaza and women really being... And if you're mad that some 15-year-old basement-dwelling Aussie said it's not if I like it, if a mediocre, crass joke like that offends you, turn off the camera, get off Twitch, and hang up your jersey. You're a not cut out for gaming.
Hang up your jersey.
It's insane how like this game, like this would be a ban on any network online, like Steam, PlayStation Network. I'm like, just ban the guy and call it a day. And that, like, my only thing is like, if you're like anybody online, just use the mute and block functionalities. I do that shit all the time. Okay, I come across an unhinged nut job. That's what the block button is there for. You know, this Keffals video is insane. Like, Twitter comes at me, and it's like, I leave my DMs open. The DM is like, well, I hope you and your family die in a car wreck. I'm like, that's what the block button is there for, okay? You just block that person.
Nah, I don't block anybody. Well, you give them the satisfaction. You mute. It's the best. They keep screaming, and you just don't see it. It's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, blocking people is like, nah. Muting people. See, you know how much satisfaction I have that Logan Paul blocked me on Twitter? It literally makes me happy every time I think about it. If he would have muted me, I would have felt Nothing. But now I feel great.
Bro, do you really feel like great that peak prime brain blocked you?
Yes.
Dude, that's so
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, he's my favorite guy. I love Logan. Ever since I've been watching like wrestling now, Logan Paul's my favorite dude. I hype beast him all the time. Like anytime my friends are like, I hope Logan gets his ass beat, I just jump in and I'm like, it doesn't matter. He has more bitches in Prime than you'll ever have. And Crypto Zoo is never going to be refunded ever.
Yeah, he doesn't give a...
Did you see that whole George Janko thing this week?
Yeah, dude, I got blasted. I made a video about it. I got blasted.
Oh, you made a video about it? I didn't see it.
Wait, what happened with the George Janko? I heard that he wasn't getting paid or something.
No, so... All right, take it away.
No, you go ahead.
So George Janko he used to be one of the Impulsive co-hosts. He made his own podcast, and he had Mike, my dick suck Mike guy, that guy.
Yeah, Mike Malek.
Yeah, him, the professional sucker enthusiast. So he was there with George Janko. They had like this epic discussion.
George Janko's the Minecraft Steve looking guy, right? The
Squarehead.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So anyway, they were talking about all sorts of things, and eventually why he left the Logan Paul podcast came up. And he kind of explained to him that there were a few issues. One was money problems. There were some months when he was only paid like $5,000, and cost of living in LA was $10,000. So that was not good. Also, when he started his own podcast, he wanted to get sponsored by Celsius, another drink company. And Logan literally said, if you get sponsored by Celsius, we are never like collabing again. I'm blacklisting you from everything because it's a rival to Prime. And he didn't offer him a Prime sponsor. Like George said, okay, so sponsor me with Prime. And he said, no. It was just what? Okay, so
he's so based. Like, actually so based. You cannot earn any more money. Also, I will not give you more money through my company that I make.
And the big issue was the fact that on one of his past podcasts with Bobby Lee as the guest, the comedian guy, Bobby Lee kept like put his balls in his face and grabbed his few times and like basically sexually harassed this dude on the podcast. And Logan and Mike were just laughing about it the whole time. And eventually, George had enough of it because he kept telling him, don't touch me, don't touch me. George storms out, he leaves. And they cut and edit the podcast to make it look like George just can't take a joke. And then they made George apologize to Bobby Lee. So,
dude, Logan is like
a psycho. He's a psycho.
Dude I've ever seen. He's the greatest.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I saw Logan's response on his TikTok, and I was like, I saw it mainly. I just like, for some reason, didn't get the real nuance of the friend mistreatment and the whole Bobby Lee thing. So I just saw George as just about finances and like why he can't live in LA and stuff, and I was like, boo-hoo.
I agree with you if it was only about the finances, but the crux of the issue was the mistreatment.
It's not that, it's not even remotely about that, and I just completely misunderstood it, and just people let me know in the comments.
Like, all jokes aside though, it's like I genuinely like any form of like sexual harassment, and like I want to like start off by saying too, it's like anytime like a guy gets sexually harassed, and I don't want to sound like a red pill nut job about this too, but it is genuinely like concerning that people kind of overlook that shit. Like what happened to him is not okay. Like if there's any woman that was happening to, internet would have rightfully
exactly.
So I'm definitely on the side of that.
Bro, that's
even me, I was just like, why is this guy about fucking making not enough money in LA and having to work 3 hours a week? Like, and I completely overlooked the Bobby Lee shit. I was like, yeah, that's just kind of how Bobby Lee's a weird freak, like that's how he is.
That's not the point.
It's
a lot obviously more important than that. It's a lot deeper than that.
Even the money thing doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, okay, this is like you bring your guy out to fucking LA, right? Like
he's a piece of shit.
You bring your boy out to like California. It's one of the most expensive states too. He's one of your like podcast co-hosts, right? And you're very clearly capable of paying this man a livable salary, even if it is at a slight loss, because you're making so much money from other stuff. It's like that is also shitty to do. It just shows you like how he perceives his friends, like Logan. But it also just goes to really show like a bit of sociopathy too, because it's like, okay, so he's going to go to a rival drink company. And it's a rival to my company. I get it. But it's like, then sponsor him. Cover, or at least give the equivalent sponsor over. Like, do something.
It's literally that easy.
It's the least that he could do. Especially when he's signing on people like Speed or whatever, too. Knowing that he's paying, like, the money that he'd be paying that George guy would be like a less than an accounting error, you know?
Yeah, and he kept flexing to George the entire time too. It's like, oh hey, I made $11 million this week, and George is like, can't pay rent.
Dude,
it's pretty crazy.
The other thing too, it's like the flexing thing is so weird because you can make a whole 2-hour video on this weird thing that he does with flexing, like Logan Paul, because it's the same thing that happened with CryptoZoo, right? It's like he does this CryptoZoo shit, blows up in his face. What does he do next? Shows like what, $1 million ring that he gave to like this girl like that he's married to now.
Based.
Like, bro, it's like it's so insane like how he does this shit and thinks that he can basically. Well, he does get away with it.
He literally gets away with it.
I feel like that's like his fetish. Like he fetishizes that kind of crap. Like I can basically step on people and I win, for now, right? And I feel like that's why I don't see him like interact with people or really primarily like do that kind of shit to people on his level, like equivalent other creators or something.
That was the point too. It's because Bobby Lee was the guest and Bobby Lee was famous that he framed the entire podcast to make George look like an absolute loser and a joke.
With the whole thing with Bobby Lee too is really bizarre because for me, Bobby Lee is part of this matrix of people that I like Theo Vaughn and a bunch of podcast dudes. Like these people seem like genuine good people, and in my mind, it's like I can't see them being friends with a guy who's a massive piece of shit. But at the same time, it's like there is so much evidence. There's a video from 5 years ago of Bobby Lee like kissing a dude's ankles on an interview and like trying to pull this woman's shoes off and look at her fucking feet. Like he's an absolute freak pervert. And it's yeah, I know. I was completely. That's the most important part of the whole thing, in my opinion, is the whole Bobby Lee thing.
Yeah, for sure. That is the main thing. But I think it's like a symptom of a much bigger disease, which is the fact that Logan Paul does not give a shit about his friend. And
absolutely,
he doesn't care that his friend is literally he calls him his best friend, by the way, in his TikTok response video. So he doesn't care that his best friend is getting assaulted and humiliated in front of him. And then after he storms off, he edits and frames the podcast to make him look like a loser. Like, this is the type of person you're talking about. Like, he could scam his fans. Okay, he could disrespect a dead body that he finds in a forest. Okay, he didn't know those people. But where's the line? I feel like the line is further now.
Well, it just shows, like I said, it's like the guy, it's like a fetish. Like, he gets off on, like, stepping on anybody. Especially anybody beneath him. Like, you're not a friend of his. You're not even his employee. You're effectively his,
Basically.
Like, even with like people that work for me or whatever, it's like there is a very, very deep level of respect, right? Like if somebody who works for me comes up to me and it's like, yeah, I have this grievance, I have this issue, you want to take care of it, you don't want to like let, you don't want to let things fester to the point where it burns a bridge or, it's not the right thing to do is all I want to say. Logan doesn't really give a shit about that. Like the guy is his co-host is unable to pay rent in LA, which shouldn't be unfeasible.
And you know what his response was?
Making 11 mil.
You know what his response was when George originally told him? George says to him, I can't pay rent in LA. I just covered this. That's why I know all the details. So George went to him and he just said, hey, can't pay rent in LA. And Logan says to him, well, why don't you just get your rich dad to pay for you?
Bro.
Like, what kind of sociopath fuck does that? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's definitely a bizarre result, mixing business with friendships and just not taking care of, like, you're mixing business with friendships, and then you're a businessman and you're treating your friends as if it's like part of the business instead of treating your friends like they're your friends. Like he can afford to pay all his friends $250,000 a year and also be on the podcast easily.
Yeah.
Like he easily could. He
ended up showing receipts, and ironically, even the numbers that he showed up didn't add up on Twitter. He showed his response in his TikTok was, "Hey man, turns out you lied. It was only like 1 month that I only paid you $5,000. I have this whole other list of receipts that adds up to $300,000 that I paid you over 15 months. First, that's a fine salary, by the way. I think
it's a really good salary.
However, he was on the podcast for 4 years." So what was going on there? Huh? Oh, he just wasn't paid for the first 2.5 years of it.
Yeah, averaged out it's $5,000 a month.
Averaged out is nothing.
Yeah. Could you expect any honesty from the guy that like did the CryptoZoo debacle? Like, no, you can't. anybody like this is the thing with him. Like anybody that still is like a Logan Paul like sucker, and I'm not talking about Mike Maliak, okay? No, but the thing is, Mike is just a professional dick washer, okay? Like everybody, like
sometimes it's hard to understand what he says. He has like a thick accent of throat. It's like it makes it hard to hear him sometimes.
Dude. Like, dude, that guy when he should like, bro. I remember when I was like when we were covering like the Rubet, Wizza, all this extra shit. Like he just has to jump in any moment to like defend anybody. Like he is just like the like I cannot imagine sucking that much. Okay.
Yeah.
Like goddamn.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like because to me he comes off as like semi-genuine and like Logan Paul's a good guy. Yeah. Like that's how he's acting. Mike is acting as if Logan Paul is a really good friend and is an honest guy and is a good dude. But there's so much just contradicting evidence of that. It just truly seems like Mike is and he's just got to be the major, like actual master sucker for real. Or there's just something we don't understand and we're just haters.
No, he's just the king of fellatio or whatever.
No, that dick must taste that good.
Yeah, it's like prime, dude.
Must be, dude. It has to be.
That's like fucking prime.
Tastes like the best. That's probably what gets put in. No, I shouldn't say that. Prime is a healthy product.
It's not.
Sure.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Prime really worth suing though?
For what? Like for the
PFAS? Yo, get Keffals on this shit ASAP.
Wait. Was Prime really worth like a lawsuit though? Like. Apparently they were suing it for having way too much caffeine or some crazy shit. Like
there's the caffeine lawsuit and there's also the PFAS thing that happened a couple weeks ago.
What happened with that?
The plastics in the Prime.
I just got so scared.
PFAS. Yeah. No, it's not worth suing for sure. No, it's just like every other energy drink, Prime Hydrate. It's all the same. They're made by 3D. It's just like a private label thing. It's not like Logan Paul's making it in his factory.
Yeah.
He has no control over that.
Whatever it is, it's one of the most like earning drinks that I've ever goddamn seen.
Insane.
It's pretty wild.
It is definitely like I don't know the hype. I had it once and I'm like, this is just like nice flavored coconut water, but
it's not good. It doesn't taste good.
Like it very much.
It's like overly sweetened and it's yucky.
Look, man, I'm just trying to be a little bit nice to Logan.
It's not good and it's expensive, okay?
Look, Logan's getting bullied for not properly like paying for his like people and everything too, and I just feel like it's worth getting both sides of the story down.
Damn.
Because no, Logan Paul. If anything, we're George Janko fans. Mike Maliak is the greatest sucker that I have ever seen in my life. I think it's honestly
Logan
the best
Paul,
compliment.
at least, like I feel like his brain could be studied. Mike's cannot.
Dude, I just like. I feel like Mike can be studied. His tonsils have to be studied after death, like 100%.
He reminds me of Adam Sandler.
That was for a while. That's why.
I think that's why I think he's a nice guy. It's just because it's just like, oh, that's Adam talking.
You know what? I will say that he probably. You know what? I think that maybe is what makes him a nice guy. Maybe he is like. You know what Mike is? Mike is a guy that will always agree with you no matter what, and he will always have your back. Nothing, none of that. And dude.
Mike was amazing. When Mike was talking to George, every time George would tell him something, Mike's response would just be completely nothing, even remotely related to what was going on. It was like, Mike, I don't understand. Why would you like say nothing when I got assaulted in front of you and humiliated and edited out of the video? Why did you say nothing to defend me? I was your friend. And Mike's response is, we're blaming Logan Paul right now, right? We're not actually blaming me. He's like, no, I'm blaming you. And then his response is, I sent you an SMS to see if you're okay.
It's like, oh, what a...
It's like,
dude, what a loon. Who says SMS, bro? That guy is
he said a text. I think he said an SMS.
Bro,
I don't know if he said either one.
Dude, if he said an SMS, bro, what is he from the Paleolithic era?
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. I don't want him to get. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care. He is the greatest sucker with a Nokia 6600, dude. Craziest dude. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the podcast, and I feel like we had a great episode.
Oh yeah, this was a good one.
A lot of good shit. We addressed a lot of criticisms. I just want to stress by saying. One message that I feel is very understated in today's society: Nazism is bad.
Damn.
Yes.
Transphobia
Cracker
is
ass
bad.
take, honestly.
And bro, honestly, like
misandry is bad, misogynism is bad.
Yeah. From your 3 favorite internet, Oompaville, Nuxtaku, and me, Mutahar, we bid you a farewell for this week, and we are out.